Hey there everybody, Chris Rogers here with the 128th Air Refueling Wing to give you a quick tutorial on how to use iAuditor and how to set up the sites. So once you log into iAuditor, you should have this right here as your dashboard, and this should be the screen that pops up. On the left hand side here, right above your name, you should see your unit. So mine is 128th ARW. You'll click on that, move to this screen, click Sites, and you'll see all the sites that you have loaded, or if you don't have any sites, this will be blank. For me, I loaded it down to the squadron, the group, and then the region. I used General Mitchell Field. The reason I'm using General Mitchell Field is that some installations have multiple wings or other squadrons that aren't associated with their unit on their installation, and so I figured it's best to break it down by the installation and then load in your group and then your squadron for tracking purposes down the road. Makes it easier that way. So to add sites in, there's two different ways to do it. I'll walk you through both of those. Click on the Add Sites up here on the right. So in here, you can go through and you can load, you can go ahead and load your sites in. For me, if I wanted to use 128 Air Refueling Wing for my region, I could click on that one, or I can use my General Mitchell Field. And like I say, that's how I roll, is General Mitchell Field. So I went with the installation. For the area, you can select the group that you would like, or you might have to type that in. For a site, you can go with headquarters, whatever you'd like there, and you can add another one. And you can just keep adding them in this way. I found the best way to do this though is to upload a CVS file. This is how I did it. So you click right here, you'll get an example. It'll pop up down here. I have one ready to go. You'll get this file that will show up, and it's already preloaded with site, area, and region. So I just leave those alone. Here's an example site without the regions, and then here's an example site so you could plug it in. You got Queensland, and then the region is Australia. I'll show you my sample one that I created here. So you can see right here, I broke it down. You can go all the way down to the flight level if you'd like. So you can go propulsion flight, assigned to the 22nd MXG, or the 22nd Air Wing, or down here I did some that were squadron, to the group, and then to the region I used Green Bay International Airport. So I went to the installation or the location that it's actually at. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. However you prefer. Like I say, for me, I thought the best method moving forward would be to go with the squadron, to the group, and then to the region. So you'll take that. Make sure when you save this that you save it as a CVS format. Do not convert it to an Excel file format, because iAuditor does not recognize the Excel file format for these. So make sure you leave it in a CVS file format when you save this, okay? So now when you go in here, I've tried the drag and drop several times and it does not work. It tells me it's the wrong file type. I know it's the correct file type, but whenever I drag and drop it in, it will not allow me to do that. It keeps giving me an error. So I'll click in here. It'll take me right to here. I know this is the one I want. I'll open it up. I know my site is my site, region is the region, area is area. So I'll save and upload. I got 5 created. So I'll continue. Now when I look in here, expand this out, I should have the 22nd, here they are, 22nd FSS, 22nd MXS. So they all loaded right in here. So with a couple clicks, I was able to dump in 5 of them in a matter of a couple minutes. So now, what makes the site, area, and region, what makes those handy is that if you have multiple regions or you have a couple different installations running off of the same site license, you can narrow it down. So under our site license, we have General Mitchell Field, but you'll notice down here we also have Volk Field. So when I go to narrow my inspections, I can narrow it to either General Mitchell Field and only look at those, or I can narrow it to Volk Field and look at all the inspections at Volk Field. So it makes it convenient for that. But also, when you go over here to your analytics, and if you want to track how many inspections you've done, and you want to break it down by the squadron or the group, you can do it that way as well. So in here, I'm going to change my date, and I'm going to look back yearly. I'm going to make sure I go back to 2019. I'm going to apply that. So you can see we have 109 inspections. So I'm going to break it down by the site. So that was my squadron. So I'm going to take a look at the AMXS squadron. We'll see how many inspections they've had for the last year. So they had 4 inspections conducted by 1. They had 8 failed items. So if you scroll down, you can see when the inspections were completed, the performance. You can also take a look, which I find very helpful now, is you have your frequently failed items. So you can take a look at what is frequently failed for each squadron. And you can look at their inspections, and you can open these inspections up and it'll show you what it was, what the 4 failed responses were, and you can go from there. You can see that they did fantastic with this one. There were no failed items on that one. So now if you want to go and you want to take a look at, and you break it down by the group, you can take a look at your inspections per group. So if we take a look at the MSG here, you'll see we had 42 inspections for the MSG overall for the group. 2 people. We had 190 failed items. So now you get down here, and like I say, the part that I find important is you have what the frequently failed items were. And so in here you have all personnel received safety training. So that was the most frequently failed item, followed behind by work center specific items covered in their JSTO. I know it's the second part of the JSTO, then does JSTO. So it looks like they got some issues with their JSTOs and safety training, and so we can focus on that for the MSG. Like I say, if you broke it down to the squadron and you saw that same thing for the squadron, you can take a look at that. As you scroll down here, you can see which squadrons are lagging behind or which squadrons may need more safety oversight or more assistance from the safety office based on the number of deficiencies that they have versus the number of items that were inspected with that. So again, it's a great way to track all your stuff. You can use this data and information in your APMR, which is what I do. I take a look back over the whole year. I show how many inspections we completed, whether it's spot inspections or facility inspections or the program assessments, and then I break it into facility or program assessments, and I show where our program items were that were deficient and where our facility items, the most frequently failed facility items are, just to give leadership an oversight of where we're at and how we're progressing forward. With that, guys, that's all I have for this one. If you've got any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can get my email off the global there. Again, it's Christopher Rogers. I'm out at the 128th Air Refueling Wing at General Mitchell Field. So again, if you've got any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Have a great day.